I was just amazed by this, like amazed by Kelson working with his little bit of drugs that he's been rationing and making all these concoctions and studying and taking his notes and really observing Samson and seeing that, and him trying something that nobody else in the whole entire world in the past 28 years never thought.
They just eradicated people. They just massacred a bunch of sick people. I really love this Kelson character as someone representing the holistic option of actually taking care of the sick and the disabled and treating them like people and not as some sort of waste that you have to get rid of. And with Dr. Kelson, he's someone that genuinely wants to get to the bottom of this virus because that's ultimately what's going to bring like peace to like whatever land is left here. Welcome back, people, to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. My name is Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And Happy New Year to all of you who are celebrating. If you're not celebrating yet, Happy New Year's next month for Lunar Year. I didn't forget y'all. Don't worry. We're all inclusive here. And I am so excited to talk about this. I can't believe we got a great movie in January. Finally, my birth month is no longer a dumping ground for garbage. I mean, it still is, but it's slowly changing. They're finally giving me something for my birthday, kind of. Guys, we're going to be talking 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and we definitely got bones last night.
I keep thinking this is called Skull Island. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect. Like, I see the skulls, and then I
guess I get it. It's all bone themed.
So it's Bone Temple?
Bone Temple, not Skull Island, not Skull Candy.
Skull Panda. I'm really into those lately.
Right off the bat, I gotta say, this, like I said earlier, it's a great movie. It's not just good, it's great. Mm-hmm. I think I like the previous one a little bit more, but this one's like high up there for sure.
I mean, this is literally a continuation of the last one. It goes right into it. It doesn't...
No time skip, no nothing.
This just feels like it came... This is what Spider-Man Into the Whatever Verse should have done when they said they were going to do it. Just give us the next one like a year later, because I don't feel like there's been that much time in between the last one where I'm just like, shit, I gotta rewatch or I don't remember.
Yeah.
So this is like definitely a nice just like continuation of it where I don't feel like, oh man, this one fell so short, because I'm like, if we were gonna sit in a 5-hour movie, this is what we would have got.
Oh, thank God it was no freaking 5 hours.
Yeah,
please.
I know. Thank goodness it wasn't 2 hours.
Look what you can do, guys. In under 2 hours, you could tell a full, complete story. It don't got to be 2.5.
It worked. Yes, it was perfect. And I was just like, please don't let this be like 2.5 hours. Please don't let it be 2.5 hours. And you're like, it's an hour and 40-something minutes. I was like, I can do that. I think what I liked was the continuation from the last movie. I know everybody, they dropped their scores or what they thought of the movie for like many reasons, but specifically the end of the last movie was like a big issue for people.
Which I don't understand. I love that ending with the Jimmies.
It was confusing. It was a little jolting, and I felt like maybe that kind of affected my score too. Mm-hmm. Even though like the last movie was literally like a fever dream. It was ridiculous. I liked that we had the setup of the last movie so we could just go into new characters, even the Jimmies. Yeah. We got them at the very end of the movie. We're just like, literally, we're like, what the fuck? We're like, what is this? Yeah. And this movie is about them, basically, and Spike's imprisonment with amongst them.
This poor boy, he gets no story in this movie.
He doesn't.
He's like, take me with you like 20 times. Get me out of these Jimmy cults.
I know, like, I thought this was going to really be about, like, his journey along with something to do with the doctor.
But nah, this is Dr. Kelson's movie.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, it's his movie, and it's more on the Jimmies, which how they behaved at the end of the movie makes more sense. And I can appreciate that. I thought it was going to be a lot more like wacky, like
no, this shit's dark.
Yeah, you said that and I just went, you know what scene I'm talking about. With the barn and the I thought it was a great continuation from the last movie. I didn't feel lost or anything. I like that we got to know Jimmy, leader Jimmy Crystal, right? Yeah. A little bit better and kind of understand him. Also, the doctor, that was like a big one for me. And Samson, their relationship.
Samson.
Oh my gosh. Like, I was loving that so much.
They really made Samson a character. We'll get into details soon.
Yeah, and I think I wanted a little bit more of that. If I'm thinking of like maybe a negative, it was just like a lot of drugs and fun. But I think I want to delve a little deeper into it, and I don't know if
that's interesting.
What the third movie is going to be about. I have no idea, and like I can't even put something in. But what I would want is to delve deeper into Samson.
That's interesting. I feel the same way, but with the Jimmies. I wish there was more exploration of Jimmy and some of the Jimmies.
I'm sick of what they're doing. They're lunatics. They're crazy. I've had enough of them.
And I feel like because they're so insane, I wish that we got to delve more into each of the Jimmies' like inner worlds, like how they got to this point, why they're here. More
how they got to it. I don't want to get too deep into that, but I was curious as to how they managed to be following the leader, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like what about him made, because they all either they're just sick people or they're people who are scared like Spike. Then they have no choice but to follow to survive. But some of them really seem they believed him, like they are followers. Like this little cult is just like, it's wild. And
some of them were questioning him.
Yeah, some were questioning him too.
Which I thought was really cool. I'm glad that they mixed it up a bit.
Yeah.
Because we follow one of the Jimmies. And I wish we explored her a little bit more. Like she's interesting enough, but I don't feel like they really delved into her character enough for me to be like, oh, wow, I'm fascinated by her the way that I'm fascinated by Jimmy Crystal or Kelson or Spike. I think overall I feel the same way about you. I really love this movie. I love that it's a direct continuation. It's funny that you say that you wish you had more of stuff with Samson. I felt like I've had plenty and I needed more from like the Jimmy side. So that'll be fun to talk about once we get into like the plot details, once we get into spoilers. Yeah, I don't feel like I have anything else to say in terms of general positive things. I mean, Nia DaCosta was a great choice for this. I'm glad I finally get to see what she's fully capable of, because we watched The Marvels together and we had a decent time with it. We didn't hate it the way that other people hate it. That's the Captain Marvel, the Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel on their little space journey. You clearly don't remember that movie.
No, I remember it, and I just remember
nothing.
I remember stuff that I'm not too pleased with.
Anyways, Nia DaCosta directed that movie, but you don't see any sort of director fingerprints on it. It just feels like it came out of a Marvel conveyor belt. So we didn't get to see what she could do with something like that. And we watched the Candyman movie. It was not a reboot. It's like a sequel, kind of like a standalone sequel. Yeah, but I didn't really like that movie. I appreciated what it tried to do. So I'm really glad that I got to see Nia DaCosta get a shot at this movie. I think that she killed it with this movie. I love the cinematography that they chose here. It's different. It's not nearly as experimental and aggressive, but you still get these really cool shots of like the POV of like the camera facing like the alpha, and you just see him stumbling and you move with his movements.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel like you're really in that world. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, but you should give this one a shot because it does something totally different still, in terms of story at least.
People will probably like this better because there was no mothers, because people hate their mothers and don't love their mothers.
I still feel like that is like the common denominator. A lot of the critiques I've seen has been once we exit the story with the father and then we follow the mother instead. That's where people are just having a problem, and I'm just like, it's way more interesting than following the dad. I'm sorry, but I feel like there's like a hatred of a woman here. I smell it. I detect it.
I mean, we don't even have to talk about that. It's just, it is. So moving on.
So let's get into spoilers now. Let's talk about the Jimmies, because the movie opens with the Jimmies.
We missed the first 5 minutes.
We missed like first 5 minutes thanks to Boston traffic. Thank you.
Thanks
Rush
to
hour.
Traffic, yes.
We see that Spike is basically indoctrinated right away into the Jimmy cult.
Take out another Jimmy.
He had to kill another Jimmy.
To become a Jimmy.
And I thought that was really fucked up. I'm like, okay. So he has no qualms about getting rid of his so-called fingers, as long as he replaces it.
That is why they fell apart in this whole entire movie. It's just like, you can't keep the original Jimmies that you started with. Like, the people you come across aren't going to want to stay in this thing forever.
It's not a stable system.
Yeah, it's just like, you had to have like really got your claws in them to really change how they think so that they would follow you. You're literally having people who are terrified in your group waiting for a moment to leave or be killed. Like that's how it all falls apart.
We see a lot of gruesome violence in this movie. Some of it is from the zombies, but most of it is the humans, and it's specifically the Jimmies. Like, I think the most gruesome thing that we see the Alpha do is like eat a dude's brain after he kills him, which was really gross.
It just looked like feta. I've been really into feta
That's the worst
lately.
part, when it looks like food that you eat. See the gray matter. I wonder if him eating the gray matter helped him like boost his brain power or something.
That's what I was saying. I was just like, he's eating brains.
But the real disturbing stuff is what the Jimmies do, because I don't know if this stood out to you, but whenever an infected would come up to them, there's like not like a lot of time spent with the Jimmies killing the zombies. They just do it casually. Like, it's usually like a wide shot. The Jimmies are like walking over somewhere, and then one of them starts taking out an infected that's nearby, kills it like it's nothing, and then goes back to walk in line with the rest of the Jimmies.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like the most disturbing thing, because running into an infected usually is like fight or flight. The characters are usually very panicky and like fighting for their lives. Meanwhile, this Jimmy girl here with one of the shittiest wigs ever, she just slices up one like it's nothing. Like, it's just like going up to a chicken and just like cutting off the head or something.
Yeah.
And that happens a couple of times, which I thought was really interesting. So I'm like, okay, we're following different kinds of monsters here. Like, the infected are not really going to play as a threat in this movie.
You saw how they basically were playing with the infected at the end of the last movie. Like, it was just
Power Ranger style.
Yeah. It was just fun for them. They were stringing them up. They were laughing. They were freaking acrobating and all that stuff like that through the air. So
yeah,
this is like nothing for them.
And this movie got me wondering if Jimmy is truly like a powerful leader in his group, or if he's just lucky enough to be charismatic to trick people into following him. Because what I noticed is he doesn't get his hands dirty with the violence. I don't have... Has he ever killed like a person or a thing once in this movie with his own hands?
No. I don't think he has.
He's always sending somebody else to like slice somebody up, torture somebody.
Except for when he stabs the doc.
Yes.
Yeah.
Way later.
And I feel like at that point he was cornered and everything was just falling apart at that point. So I feel like that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he doesn't, from the moment we're introduced to him, he's just like, Jimmy's, go do the thing and stuff. And they do all that stuff. I don't think he's done anything.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the farm that they go in, they just terrorize those people. It's the Jimmys that do everything. Yeah, he's a loser. Jimmy Crystal's a loser.
And the fact that Jimmy Inc., or Kelly, as she later reveals herself, she's always like been questioning him. I don't know how long she's been in the group, but it sounds like for a while now she's been losing faith in this guy. Because when you mentioned the barn scene, like they do probably the most despicable thing in that barn scene, which is when they grab this family and they straight up said earlier that we're just gonna kill you. Like they said ahead of time, and we didn't know how they were gonna do it. So for them to hang these people up and skin them alive, I was like, this is like beyond needing to survive. This is like their entertainment.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he doesn't partake in that, I just thought that was really interesting. It makes me think about like how powerful leaders are always sending people to do stuff on their bidding, but they'll never get their own hands dirty.
I mean, there were moments, I think from the beginning, where you can see things were kind of falling apart. He's just loud. He just seems scary. Everyone's just cowering. And then when he tells them to do something, they'll go ahead and they'll do it. But like you said, Jimmy Inc. questioning him, she's not being like overly like pushy about it, but she asks the right questions that put him in a weird position, because then the other Jimmies are like, like for a moment that they can think for themselves, they're just like, she actually makes a good point there, and he has to scramble to like, you know, make some story up, or you know, like when they got to the bone temple.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, and then he's just
I
like,
found old Nick.
He's like, this must have been like a newer one or something, and he's like, you know, new in architectural sense or something.
She's
like that.
This place looks old.
Yeah, and I was
What do you
just
mean?
like, yeah, but I thought that was really that was funny. So it's just like he's slowly slipping, and it's because he can't keep his fingers. It sounds weird, but that's what they are.
Yeah,
he's either replacing them or they're all dying. People are gonna fight back, and I know that they've probably like instilled fear and they've brought death on so many people. And I'm just like, I thought you were trying to recruit more people. Like, what is your goal? Like, you're just killing people and you want this to keep going on. I would think that you would want bigger numbers. It isn't until they get to their Satan leader. What is they calling him? Old Nick?
Old Nick. I kept thinking that it was old Saint Nick. I'm thinking like, Santa Claus.
Too. I was like, Santa Claus?
And then I realized, damn, this movie's British as fuck. I forgot.
Yeah.
Old Nick.
Old Nick. So I was just like, what is your goal? Like, because you can't keep your fingers and you're not growing this thing. Like, how is, That
takes me to the Bone Temple, which I really love that we have that conversation with Jimmy Crystal and Dr. Kelson. Because when he first enters the Bone Temple to scope it out and pretend like, oh, I'm going to go speak with my father, this dude is shook. He's walking through the Bone Temple. He hears like a bird calling and he goes,
I know.
It's like he's in a domain that he cannot control. He doesn't know who he's dealing with. He could be dealing with someone way more powerful than him. And it was really fascinating to see someone who was seemingly so in control just a few moments ago feel completely powerless. It was interesting to see Jimmy sort of buckle down and really just be vulnerable and be real for like the first time and not be a character.
Yeah.
Because when he's talking to Dr. Kelson and basically trying to figure out who this guy is, he's honest about where he's come from. He talks about his dad not really knowing him. And it seems like he's forgotten most of his childhood because of the trauma he experienced at that church that we saw in the beginning of 28 years later. So it was really fascinating to see him actually break down and just be vulnerable for once. And he even goes, I actually like you. I like talking to you. But the whole time he's basically trying to force this deal on him to be like, you need to pretend to be my Satan dad so I can get these people in line. And again, I think that just confirms how this guy is really not a powerful leader. He's just a scammer.
Yeah.
And he needs that to survive. He doesn't know any other way. Dr. Kelson is just, he's kind of going with it. He kind of has no choice if he wants to survive. Yeah. Because his whole main focus is like, I need to cure Samson. So whatever it takes to get this dude off my back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, but I like how you could tell that he's a good person. Dr. Kelson.
He's like the best, kindest character you've probably ever come across besides Spike.
He's strange, but he's not that strange. The more you get to know him,
he's
like
the least crazy.
Yeah, because you see him, how they depicted him in the first movie. They're just like, yeah, he had all these bodies and there was bodies everywhere. And I was just like, what the hell?
And they waved at us and we ran.
And I was just like, what? Then we get to know him and what he's doing. And then Jimmy's just like, yeah, so I either have to kill you or you got to pretend to be Satan. Help me out here. And I was just like, is he gonna do it? And
wild.
He does. Surprisingly, he does.
I will say it was really fascinating to see that conversation because Jimmy almost looked like he was looking for a new guide, a new thing to believe in, a new figure, because he's so busy trying to be a sort of like a father figure, so to speak, to the other Jimmys. But you notice like the entire time he's also trying to like find his own like purpose, his own like thing to believe in.
Yeah.
Even he's not buying into his own shit. He's just doing this for as long as he can to maintain control, to survive. But him talking to Dr. Kelson really shakes him to his core, and he's like basically saying, I kind of wish that you were my dad. Like I thought I saw my dad when I was seeing you at first. So I really think this ties back to like how much he really has not processed the trauma of losing his family and what he witnessed with his dad being eaten up at the church. It was just enough crumbs for me to munch on, but I wish we dug deeper with this Jimmy. I feel like we could have just stayed a little bit longer just digging deeper into his character before all the insanity comes at the end of the movie. Jumping to Dr. Kelson's side of the story, because I think he has probably the most fascinating story in this movie. This man is curing zombies. He basically is curing Samson because like you mentioned before, Samson keeps coming back for the goods. and I realized like, oh shit, that's right, like he's tranquilized this dude's like so many times with morphine. His body's gonna start becoming addicted even though he himself is not trying to go back there.
I was also worried that he would eventually like need more, like it wouldn't work, like he need a higher dose.
He did mention that he was running out of supplies.
Yeah.
He was like, I got maybe 2 weeks
but
left.
every time he came back, I was just like, isn't he like, becoming
More tolerant?
Yeah, isn't he growing like a tolerance to whatever he's giving him? But every time they showed those moments with them together after he like gave him the drug or he was taking some of the drug himself, it was just, you could see like, I don't know if that was just me thinking it, but Samson looked like he was looking less infected, like skin-wise, face.
His skin was clearing up. His eyes were clearing up. If you notice, his eyes were less red and more brown.
Going at the eyes, they kept looking at that. Yeah. And then the skin, and they kept showing like his hands and his face, they were getting softer. His eyes. And I was just like, is it me or is this like it's clearing up or something like that?
Am I tripping?
Yeah, it's like these antibiotics, they're working. But it was amazing. I was amazed. And you had mentioned earlier, you were just like there's like a whole outside world. Everybody's just ignoring that this is contained here. Like, can't the outside come inside and like do something? And we have Dr. Kelson with no real supplies, no facilities, laboratory, nothing like that,
concocting a cure out of just nonsense, like antipsychotics.
And I was just like, wait a second, what? So that's why like when he died, I was just like, what the but Samson's gonna carry out his work. Samson's the new doctor. Yes, I was just amazed by this, like amazed by Kelson working with his little bit of drugs that he's been rationing and making all these concoctions and studying and taking his notes and really observing Samson and seeing that maybe this is more about the mind or something, like there's something going on there. And him trying something that nobody else in the whole entire world in the past 28 years never thought.
They just eradicated people. They just massacred a bunch of sick people, which I'm glad that you brought that up, because I really love this Kelson character as someone representing the holistic option of actually taking care of the sick and the disabled and treating them like people and not as some sort of waste that you have to get rid of. Because that's what we do, like at least in the American like culture, sick people get left behind. People with disabilities, we're still dealing with COVID. Like, we're still in a pandemic, but the government refuses to acknowledge that. The media is no longer covering that. So it feels like everything's normal, but it's not. The world is even more dangerous for people who are disabled. And then healthy people who become disabled by the virus, it keeps increasing the number of sick people. And with Dr. Kelson, he's someone that genuinely wants to get to the bottom of this virus. How does it operate? How do we stop it? Because that's ultimately what's going to bring like peace to like whatever land is left here. When Kelson starts talking about, I wish I could find a way to cure you. I wish that I could hear like one word from you to show that there's actually a soul in there and that the virus is just at the surface and not replacing you.
Yeah.
And then he decides that he's going to make a concoction to try to heal him after he fucking hears the first ever word to come out of an infected's mouth when he says moon.
Moon.
I was shook. I was like, Kelson was shook, and then I was shook. I looked back, I was like, did I hear that correctly? Did he actually fucking talk? And then, like you mentioned, they start basically bonding with each other, kind of. I mean, he's still heavily sedated, but you see there's like movements where like he looks like he's enjoying his time with Kelson.
I mean, there's a point where Kelson, he took drugs and he passed out and he was still alive, and he was just like crazy. Still attached.
That was an insane scene. Because I love that you brought that up, because Dr. Kelson, he's low-key wishing to die.
Yes.
He wants to do something right with this world, but he feels like there's just nothing else that he can do. And when he's having that conversation with Samson, when he's sedated and they're sitting at the hill before he falls asleep, he's like trying to talk to him and he's just like nodding off. And Kelson is just like, yeah, it's nice to have peace and respite. And he just keeps repeating peace and respite. And that's kind of like him just like expressing like, I would love to finally rest, meaning I want to die. So I think that he kind of was trying to see if he could die when he took a bit of that morphine, took that nap, because I think he was expecting to get ripped apart by the alpha.
Yeah.
And when he wakes up and he's just like, oh,
Yes.
I thought that was so funny and so awesome.
Yeah.
And he found a new hope, a new passion, a new purpose for continuing. Because it really felt like he was like at his end.
I love their little dance parties.
That shit was so funny. I think at one point we saw Samson's head nodding like from a wide shot.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, but
gosh, I want to know how much he was like understanding the doctor. Like
he was gradually understanding him, because you
Yeah.
see moments of him of Samson by himself in the woods. He's picking berries and starting to taste
and
shit.
he's wearing his little loincloth.
He put up like a loin. Like, he's like, why is my dick out? What the fuck is this? This is so weird. And that's when you start seeing his physical features are looking more human. I mean, this dude's still built like a fucking Hulk, but like there's less of the veins. There's less of like the redness in his eye. Yeah, because we don't get to see much of his past, but we do get to see some of it. He starts remembering his childhood.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's nearby that train, and we see that when he sits down in the broken train, there's a flashback of him being a kid riding the train. We don't know what exactly like the context is. We see that he's with like his family, and I love this crazy transition where the person working on the train is asking for his ticket.
Mugen train.
And then you see like the child is gradually aging as well. Like every time we cut back between the employee and the child looks older, and you see like an adult version of him. When we come to like present day Samson, he's nodding off, and you see like a bunch of infected are snarling at him, and he talks like a first sentence. He goes, "No, I don't have a ticket."
Yeah.
Which that shit blew my mind, hearing a zombie talk like that. But as soon as he uttered those words, those infected came after him like they were just like he was a human.
Before he even got into the train cart and he was coming out of the woods towards it, you heard like infected in the background, and he stops and he looks back.
He looked like nervous.
Yeah, and I was just like,
and confused.
I was confused. I was nervous. I was just like, wait a second.
Why is he reacting to that? He controls them.
Yes, and it was so weird. And I was just like, are they noticing something? Are they picking up on what would be human? Because that's exactly what they go after. And for him to be sitting there, and when he finally comes to out of that like memory dream thing that he has going on, they're all surrounding him, and I'm just like,
they're like, "Where's your fucking ticket?"
Yeah.
What? No ticket?
Oh my, yes. I was just like, oh my God. And I think I turned to you, I was like, is he cured? He's cured, or he's getting cured.
He's basically cured.
Yeah. And I was just like, what's going on? But then when they started attacking him and biting him, I was like, is this going to reverse everything that...
I was thinking until I'm like, fuck, is he getting reinfected times two?
Yes. I was like, we don't got no more drugs, y'all. But yeah, I was like, so I was just in awe. That's why I think like Samson overshadowed anything else going on in the movie for me.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to dive deeper into the Jimmies, but I was just amazed by this.
I love that we went the route of curing Samson, because it could have easily gone super goofy and unbelievable and dumb and just silly, having a dancing, talking zombie for like 2 hours. But they were able to find a way to make it feel very emotionally resonant and just make us care about what's going on.
Yeah.
Because this movie is taking a risk here of trying to be different than the previous movies. It's not just about constantly outrunning zombies and outrunning other groups of evil people. Like that's been done so many times, and you got to keep that fresh. So I love that they're going the route of, hey, there is a potential cure. I don't know if we're going to be able to cure everybody, but look, there's a possibility here. And that is a brand new thing that I really appreciate, that I feel like this movie definitely needs to go in that direction. Because we have to get to the end at some point. This is not like a Marvel movie where you could just keep going on and on forever and ever. Like, there needs to be some sort of stopping point. And the fact that they're coming to a cure, I feel like that could easily like create like a satisfying conclusion with this new trilogy that we're doing. And Dr. Kelson, he had a lot to do with like the Bone Temple showdown. Or what I like to call Bone Temple Coachella.
Nah, I really thought he dressed up as Voldemort and came out there for a second. Cause
basically,
when he was crawling out there, I was just like, why he look like that?
That shit was so funny.
Oh, man.
What were your thoughts on that whole sequence?
I was in awe, just like the Jimmies. I was just like, oh my gosh.
We were the only ones not scared, because we were aware of his plan.
Yes, I was like, I was really just in awe. I was like, this is what he's been cooking up this whole time. Like, this is what he's been preparing for. I was like, you didn't have to go this hard. Like, even Jimmy was just like, you didn't have to go this hard. This is real good.
There were moments of him being shocked, confused, excited, back to confused.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, he really went all out. He had the big circle of fire.
That was literally, it was lit.
Yes. Oh, but the dance he did when he had to put on the fire suit.
That was so fucking cool.
I was like, what is this? How did you come up with this?
Like, I was just thinking, I'm like, you had no time to rehearse this. You have very limited material, so he was winging it.
He's had this whole time. That's what I'm convinced.
It's
I'm
my
like,
time to shine, finally. I've always wanted to do this dance to Iron Maiden. That was so fucking awesome.
How did you feel about it?
I was thrilled. I love that I didn't know where it was going. So I knew that he was holding up his end of the deal because he wants to live long enough to cure Samson. But then the wrench in the entire plan is when he sees a boy in a mask and he sees his eyes, just like the terrified look in this boy's eyes. And he goes up to him and takes off the mask and sees that Spike is part of the whole group. And that completely derails the plan because Kelson is then made aware that, Jimmy wants to just have this pardon so that he can continue with his killing and his torturing.
Yeah.
And Kelson was going to allow that shit. He was going to let that shit go because it's like, there's only so much I can do against a group of guys.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not trying to die.
Yeah, so he was really willing to let these guys go and terrorize whoever they were going to go for next. But then he picks out Spike, and I'm like, oh, he's going to throw away the plan. He's going to completely toss it. And when he does, I'm just like, my man Kelson, I would do the same thing.
I thought he was just going to be like, I want to keep this one. But he's just like, no, turn on Jimmy. And I was just like, I don't know if it's going to work, man. And it doesn't. And
it was a smart gamble because he had them in the palm of his hands. Like, he had those people mesmerized by him. He had these people really thinking that he was freaking Satan. So I think it was a smart move to try to turn the Jimmies on him.
Yeah, which they
basically did. Yeah,
he did. But
there was like barely any Jimmies left.
Yeah, no, there was 3 Jimmies left, and they were ready to sacrifice Jimmy Crystal, like he said. And then Jimmy was just like, "Is he really?" And
then pokes Dr. Kelson. I'm like, "You piece of shit!" But then Spike pokes him back.
There's a lot of poking going on in here. I wasn't ready for that.
Because I knew Kelson was going to die.
I didn't.
I didn't know how.
I didn't think he was going to die. I don't know why. That's what
I appreciated the way that they ended Jimmy, just crucifying him with the same upside down cross that he had on his necklace. Like, here, you make your bed, you sleep in it.
Yes, and then he started hallucinating Satan or Samson as Satan.
That
when
was
he came
cool.
in.
I thought he ripped like an animal's antlers.
I thought that too, and just stuck it on his head, and he's just like, I'm human again. I wear hats.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought that was really cool. And I like that basically Jimmy was just like horrified and in fear and calling out for his mom, and just it was just really funny because I was just like, this is what you wanted and this is what you got, because first you were just like telling these people that this is real, and I don't know how much of his mind really thought it, because he was saying to Kelson that he hears his dad's voice, and I was your real dad or your Satan dad that you're saying is your dad, but either way he's hearing voices. So then Samson comes in looking like Satan, and he's terrified, he's scared, and I'm like, is this not what you wanted? It's real, like you said. And
I thought it was an interesting parallel with that shot compared to another shot that we did not get to mention earlier, where we see a scene early in the movie with Samson attacking the guy with the long hair.
Oh, yeah.
And we see a quick shot of Samson's perspective, and he sees a monster on that human's face.
Yeah.
So the virus makes you feel like you're seeing threats when you're the one doing like the violence. And I thought that was really interesting, how we end with Jimmy seeing something that's not really there. He's seeing a different kind of monster, kind of emphasizing that Jimmy is himself a monster the way that the alpha is a monster. I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if that... I feel like they were being obvious about that. I don't know.
Either way, Jimmy is a monster, so it don't matter.
he is the most terrifying thing. You would think that a big hulking zombie would be the most terrifying thing in this movie, but it's literally just this man who never no, like just never took the time to heal. Like I need like a prequel movie of this man's journey from childhood to when he got to this point.
Yeah.
Because this dude is sadistic. He just goes around slaughtering people and not even doing it himself. He has others doing his bidding. And now he's seeing the devil in front of him. And then just for him to get finished off by the infected, I was just like, perfect ending for this guy. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Samson. I wonder if he's going to pop up again.
Yeah, he's going to be wearing a lab coat. He's going to be the new doctor, Dr. Samson Moon. That's who he is, and he's going to be curing the rest of the infected.
I guess so. He does pick up Dr. Kelson and he says, thank you. Yes. He says, Kelson, thank you. I'm like, God damn, he's really fucking cured.
And then what's going to happen is he's going to run into Spike, and then he's going to like, hey, Spike, it's me, Samson Moon. You remember we're friends with Kelson? And then he's going to go back to Spike's home, and he's going to go and find his daughter, and then they're going to live happily ever after again. There. Someone's going to come across Kelson's notes because those are still there.
Yeah, because the temple's not destroyed.
Yeah, those are still there, and I don't know who's going to come across it.
Maybe Jim.
Jim,
the real Jim Shady.
Oh, okay. Shame on you. Shame on you.
I had to.
Did you?
The real Jim Shady, guys.
That was unexpected, and
it was good to see him.
It was interesting to see him and his daughter, but the real question is, where's her mom, aka
Naomi Harris? Where you at? Because I know she's looking for work. Do not kill her off screen. I do not want to hear anything about a mom dying off screen,
childbirth, whatever. Yeah.
This is not a shonen anime. Please, we can have moms that stay alive.
I really hope that she does appear in the third one along with Jim. I hope this wasn't just like a quick little snippet scene.
I feel like Jim might have to end up going back and finding that cure and finding a new doctor or something.
That would be great.
Yeah, I can only speculate. I love that we have no idea what the next movie could be about, because I didn't really know what this story was going to be for this movie. This is exactly what a franchise needs to be. If you're gonna like milk a franchise and make new movies out of something that's like beloved and popular, make it fresh, keep being bold about the stories, and make it make sense. Because I can't stand when a franchise is just being made just because the previous one made money, and they're just gonna pump out shit without actually putting like some effort, some heart, some love into the script. And Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, they clearly have a bunch of ideas. They would not be doing this just for like a cash grab. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see this next one. I don't know if it's going to be the final one. I don't know if they're going to think to make more movies after this. But I'm really excited to see what the next one will be. I don't even want to see a fucking trailer. Just tell me when it's coming out, and we're going to be there. This new trilogy is really going to be talked about as one of the best trilogies if this third one nails it as well as these last two.
Yeah, I would like to know what you're rating this.
Okay, I rated The Most Potato for 28 Years Later, so this one would have to be a loaded potato for me. So it's a step down.
Why?
It's like a 4 out of 5.
You're a 4 out of 5. Why?
What? I feel like the emotional highs in 28 Years Later is what really made the movie for me. Whereas this one, I don't feel as much of an emotional catharsis. I really felt for the mother and son story in the previous movie.
You didn't feel anything from Kelson and Samson?
I love it. I love their relationship, but it doesn't hit quite as hard as a child having to say goodbye to their mom and helping them die. That is just another level of storytelling that I feel like is unmatched.
But they only got to that point because of Dr. Kelson. What was his little Latin phrase?
Memento mori.
Yeah, and he says that right before he dies. Remember to die. Remember we die. Remember you die. So I was just like, oh no, man, don't die. Yeah.
The emotional core of Spike and his mom's journey, they feel like something very special emotionally for me. It comes down to a feeling, ultimately. And I just felt so many things with that movie that I didn't feel in this one, but I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I do love this movie. I love it a lot. I just love the previous one more, so loaded potato for me on this one. What about you?
I don't remember what I rated the last one, which is good, so there's no...
It was loaded potato.
Why are you telling me my business? I think I would give this a loaded potato. I want to give it the most potato, but I don't feel like I should, and I can't explain it, so don't ask me. But I really enjoyed this. It was a great continuation. I feel like I'm giving it a loaded potato just because it really just feels like we had like intermission or something like that. It was like a year long, but still we had like an intermission, and I got right back into it.
Did you like this one more or the previous one more, since you both rated them equally?
I don't think there's liking either one more than the other, because it really, like I keep saying, it feels like a continuation of the first story.
Okay, yeah.
Those vivid scenes that we saw, especially with Spike's mom, because she was sick, she was hallucinating. I chalk it up to her illness as well. And same thing with Samson. Now that I think about the first one, the red we were seeing at night, like that uncomfortable scene of feeling, of feeling like you were being hunted, of seeing a head being like put on a tree spike or something like that.
The Boots poem. Boots.
I feel like now that we had Dr. Kelson basically treating Samson, all that stuff makes a little bit more sense to me. So everything just feels like it just came together smoothly. I didn't feel like any different about it the way I did. I feel like we had the character of his mom, Spike's mom, Spike, all that stuff, and what they were going through, and it just shows when they're there. Yeah. She's no longer there, so we don't really need scenes like that. That's what I mean. It's probably just like a director thing, but
I think it's both actually. Yeah. I like that interpretation.
Yeah, I feel like that was her. That's like her mind, because it's a lot about the mind. Yeah, and I feel like that's what Jimmy Crystal. He's clearly he has this trauma. He's hearing his dad, whoever that is. He's hearing that. Even Dr. Kelson has his own thing going on, maybe depression, because, I mean...
He's forgetting his past, too. He's forgetting what it's like, the life before the outbreak.
So I feel like there's a lot of just trauma, mental things that are going on with a lot of different characters, whether they're characters in the forefront or not. I feel like that's what these newer movies are going to be mainly about.
No, I appreciate that you put that into perspective, because that makes sense why you don't feel strongly more than the other. You feel like these are two chapters of a book. So I like that. I still think one is better than the other. Guys, let us know your thoughts on this movie. Did you like this movie? Did you not like it? What did you feel? What are your theories for the next movie? We're curious to hear all your thoughts, so let us know. And if you guys like this video, make sure to give us a like. And if you really like this, make sure to subscribe and hit notification bell so that you never miss out on these fun conversations. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're catching up with so many movies and shows this new year.
No Other Choice.
No Other Choice was a banger. Oh my God.
Yes, we'll be coming up with that one next. The Pit.
Game of Thrones is back with the 7 Kingdoms, whatever that is. You're excited. We'll later. A fragrant flower blooms with dignity. I still want to talk about that.
Yes. I know everybody loves that.
We got some anime too that we've been dying to talk about. So stay tuned for all that good stuff. And with that, we will see you guys next time. Peace.